full swing as two top five passes battle it out for a trip to the semis. Revenge was on the minds of one of these teams in the South Region Soccer Championship. And could this Cinderella team go to the ball with the area's #2 team for the Catholic League title? We'll find out next on the Baltimore Sun High School Sports Show.
The Baltimore Sun High School Sports Show.
Today's show is brought to you by the Baltimore area Toyota dealers, Best Buy, Dick's Sporting Goods, Geico, and Papa John's.
Hi, and welcome to the Baltimore Sun High School Sports Show. I'm Jerry Bembry, sports writer with the Sun. As the fall sports season comes to a close, the postseason gets into full swing. We'll start today's show with the State South Region Soccer Championship. River Hill entered that game with just one loss, a regular season defeat against Mount Hebron. That game cost River Hill its #1 ranking. And with another shot at Mount Hebron, the Hawks were thinking revenge. Let's take a look at the action.
#4 River Hill was looking to play a different tune Tuesday night as they came out fired up against the calm, collected #3 Viking team from Mount Hebron. But it was the calm before the storm as the Vikings shot out of the gate quickly on this corner. Taker's Pete Lindell places a perfect header into the net for a 1-0 lead, and the sinking feeling for River Hill. This game might be a repeat of the last. But it wasn't to be as River Hill bounced back quickly on their own shot from the corner as Adam Crew puts a beautiful feed past keeper Greg Peters to even the score and get the momentum moving in their favor, which is exactly what it did as Todd Tetro uses his head to keep the ball alive in the box for Justin Gaddis. He finds it and fires it in the net right there, giving the Hawks a 2-1 lead with a little over 14 minutes left to go in regulation time. But the Vikings were not going to go down without a fight, but junior keeper Mike DeBella would prove too tough as he stuffed any chance the Vikings would have from here on out. River Hill would put the icing on the cake here with 7:06 to play as Adam Cruz slid his second goal past Peters right here for the clincher. That was your ball game. And River Hill now with the chance to go to the semifinal round in the 2A South Division. Congratulations to River Hill.
This week, the Baltimore Sun High School Sports Show is proud to welcome Geico Direct to the program. Each week, Geico will bring you the scoreboard from the area's top teams, beginning this week with the state semifinals in boys soccer.
The Girls Catholic League final took place at Goucher College this week, pitting the second-ranked Eagles of McDonough against surprise finalist St. Mary's. The game got underway with some fancy footwork by Eagles standout Marissa Shukat, who quickly found out why St. Mary's, who upset #1 John Carroll last week, is here in the first place. But it was the Eagles who would make it upsetting for the Saints defense as junior midfielder Rachel Engel puts her team on the board with this masterful shot over keeper Melissa Anderson for a 1-0 lead. McDonough, looking for their 13th win in as many games, has outscored their last 8 opponents 32-2. 15 minutes into the second half, it was once again Rachel Engel finding the net as she makes a dandy crossover move there and fires it past a diving Anderson for the game's second and final goal as McDonough captures the Catholic League Tournament Championship, putting a fitting crown on an impressive 22-5-1 record this season. Great job, ladies.
The Class 4A Championship unfolded at Goucher College yesterday with the defending state champs, Severna Park, taking on the Fighting Colonels of Magruder from Rockville. Not much action to speak of in the first half as the ball remained on the Falcon side of the field throughout. In fact, Magruder never took a shot on goal. 11 minutes into the second half, Severna Park shows why they were 17-1 on the season as Jess Gaither fires a shot past Colonels keeper Crystal Griffiths to put the Falcons on the board 1-0 and take a step closer toward capturing their 18th state title since 1979. But Magruder says not so fast as Katie Pinn finds a loose ball in front of the net, which she puts home to tie the game at 1. And folks, we've got ourselves a ball game. But with 8 minutes remaining, Severna Park would strike again as Sarah Zuckerman feeds the ball around the box, which Beth Davis backhands into the goal to give Severna Park the lead once again. Jess Gaither would add her second goal of the match with under 2 minutes to go, as Severna Park goes on to win their 11th state title in a row with this 3-1 victory over Magruder of Montgomery County.
When we come back, two Baltimore Sun top 5 teams meet in the state 3A quarterfinals. It's a showdown between Eastern Tech and Wild Lake, and it's Dick Sportinggood's big game of the week. Next on the Baltimore Sun High School Sports Show. Welcome back. With a 10-0 record, Eastern Tech entered the Class 3A state football playoffs as the #1 seed. In order to advance to next week's semifinals, Eastern Tech had to get past Wild Lake, the defending state champion. Eastern Tech is ranked second in the Baltimore Sun poll. Wild Lake is fourth. Their state quarterfinal matchup is Dick Sportinggood's big game of the week. Before we go out to the game, let's look at this week's Classroom Stars. First, we salute Chris Yetter, a senior safety from Wild Lake who has a 3.9 grade point average, and Ray Jones, a senior running back for Eastern Tech who carries a 3.4 GPA. Now let's look at Eastern Tech and Wild Lake in Dick Sportinggood's big game of the week.
Friday the 13th action at #2 Eastern Tech going up against 4th-ranked and defending 3A state champs from Wild Lake. They played this one over at Kenwood High School. Fireworks out of the gate here early on. On the second play from scrimmage, Eastern Tech goes for it all. Scott Pierce looking far side all the way, and he's got his man. Stephen Lawson gets behind the defense and then uses the Jets to scamper into the end zone. That one goes for 64 yards, and it was 7-0 Mustangs before most fans even got settled into their seats. But Wild Lake would come down and tie it up on their first possession, so we're all tied up at 7 at the end of a quarter. The Mustangs would then retake the lead early in the second quarter on 3rd and 3 from the Wild Lake 9. Scott Pierce runs the quarterback draw, runs it to perfection. He's in the end zone. Eastern Tech missed the extra point, so they led it 13-7. Right before the half, Wild Lake uses their aerial attack. Look at this perfect spiral from Seth Smith. Right on the money to a wide-open Kyle Snell, and the Speed Merchant is on the receiving end of the 42-yard touchdown. The Wildcats got their extra point, so it was 14-13 Wildcats at the intermission. And they would add to their lead here in the third. On the first drive of the half, they convert. Danny Bayron goes in nicely on a 6-yard scamper, but the Wildcats would miss the extra point, so the lead was now 20-13. But the Mustangs would go on a 14-0 run to close out the game. First, it's Scott Pierce and the quarterback keeper from 2 yards. Another missed extra point meant that Wild Lake still had a 20-19 lead after 3. But the lone score on the fourth quarter came right here. Pierce goes for Stephen Lawson once again. He gets by the one-on-one coverage, and he dashes into the end zone for the winning score. The Mustangs got the 2-point conversion, and they hold on to win it 27-20 over Wild Lake. Eastern Tech now moves on to the Class 3A semifinals by pulling off a shocker.
So the defending Class 3A champs are now eliminated. And for Eastern Tech, their magical season continues. They're now 11-0 on the year, and more importantly, they pick up their first ever postseason victory.
Our kids never quit. We didn't quit. We were down 20-6 against Milford Mill. We were down at halftime. Our kids got character. That's what carried us through this game.
Talk about your the last play, the winning touchdown you had. Just describe that play for us.
I was going through the motion, and he like grabbed my jersey. So I hit his hand off, just kept running. Run till I can't run no more.
And what did it feel like when you scored?
Oh, the greatest feeling in the world.
Thanks, Brian. Pete Pompey is probably best known as leading the 1994 Dunbar basketball team to the mythical national championship. But before arriving at Dunbar, Pompey had built a solid football program at Edmondson High School. Pompey's been back at Edmondson for 4 years now, and once again, he's winning. In leading the Redskins to a 7-3 record, including 6 straight wins to end the season, Pompey is the Toyota Coach of the Week.
Well, I've been in the school system 33 years. I guess I'm still here because I enjoy what I'm doing, yes.
And Edmondson head coach Pete Pompey is relishing his Redskins' first league title in 13 years and his 6th overall since 1985. Despite Pompey's success, he never loses sight of his responsibilities.
My job is an extension of the home and all the educational process, and to make these kids understand that you know, you got to get an education, and those other things that you're going to do is only extemporaneous things, you know, and it's fun. But you have to earn the right to be there, which means you have to achieve in the classroom academically.
And it's Pompey's hope that his young players' hard work in the classroom will pay dividends on the football field in the future.
We keep it in line. That's where it took us a while to get it to where we have it right now, and we hope to continue to feed the program. And we got some very nice young men and some good football players in the program there, and that's what we were working for these 5 years, to try to get it at that point. And hopefully, it's going to take a lot more hard work because it's some good football teams and good football played in this city. So it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be a cakewalk job. It's going to be something tough to accomplish, but we hope to get there.
Congratulations, Pete Pompey. Now here's a look at some of the area's best student athletes. When we return, we'll showcase this week's Toyota Athlete of the Week. Each week, Toyota and the Baltimore Sun High School Sports Show will recognize outstanding male and female athletes of the week. Today's winners are Katie Coyne, a goalie on the Bryn Mawr field hockey team. Her 11 saves helped preserve a tie against top-ranked Roland Park and allowed Bryn Mawr to share the AIS A-Division title. And John Cole of McDonough's soccer team. John scored the game-winning goal in the MIAA Conference title game. We congratulate Katie and John, the Toyota Athletes of the Week.
I'm pretty much concentrating on coordinating the defense, making sure that they're in the right positions, and my defense was unbelievable. They were awesome. I couldn't have picked a better group of defenders. But all I can think about is I have to be there to stop the ball. I have to be on my toes and ready for anything.
Junior keeper Katie Coyne was on her toes the entire season for the number 3 Martians of Bryn Mawr. She allowed just 4 goals all year and racked up 18 shutouts, including 14 straight.
Katie is a naturally gifted, talented athlete. She has incredible agility and speed, and she has good anticipation of where the ball is going to go when she's playing, and her reaction time and her quickness always seems to be right on. And she's a quiet kind of person, but when she's in the goal, she really takes charge, and her skill and her presence comes out. So it's really kind of neat to watch her play. It's amazing to watch her play.
And Katie stopped an amazing 7 out of 9 penalty strokes this year, ending her celebrated season and thinking about goals for 99.
I don't think I could have asked for a much better season, or a much better team, for that matter. I was so lucky to come here this year and to be on such a good team. It's pretty unrealistic to think that you will be unscored upon for a whole season, but I guess that could be a goal for next year.
And for her outstanding play in the Martians' double overtime tie with number 1 Roland Park, we congratulate Katie Coyne, our Toyota Female Athlete of the Week.
I'm more of a competitive person when I get on the field. I take things a little more serious, whereas, throughout the day I'm more laid back, I'm not too intense, but I think definitely when I get on the field, my personality changes a little bit.
Eagle midfielder John Cole is considered somewhat of a personality in the area. Regarded by most as the state's best soccer player, this All-American and last year's Player of the Year has become one of the top 3 most sought-after college recruits in the country.
Things that make him great is not just his skill level, but physically he's one of the strongest soccer players I've ever seen in my life. He just manhandles kids. If you watch him play out there in high school, it's like a men playing among boys. And this year he just dominated time after time. In the final Saturday night, it's almost like at some points he put the team on his back and carried him to the championship.
Saturday's game was, was probably, the best thing that I've ever, been involved with, as far as sports. The crowd was amazing. The competition was great. It was kind of just a storybook ending, to my high school career here.
And to what does John attribute his storybook success?
I think my best attribute, on the field and in practice is my competitive nature. I don't like to lose, and I don't like to be second best. And I think I hold myself to a high standard, and I think that, that helps you become, the best that you can be. Is if you don't really settle for second best.
And for being at his best in last week's tournament title victory, we congratulate John Cole, our Toyota Male Athlete of the Week.
Now here's this week's best highlights, including the Best Buy Play of the Week and the Best Buy Best Cheer.
We start out on highlight reel this week with some offensive trickery. Eastern Tech Scott Pierce hands off to Stephen Lawston, and me oh my, Lawston throws it back to a wide-open Pierce in the flats. Good enough for a first down against Wild Lake. Moved out of the pitch for a defensive jam. McDonough versus St. Mary's. Melissa Shukat puts one on goal, but look at St. Mary's keeper Amy Mulligan lunging to make the diving stop in a losing effort. Our best by outstanding play of the week comes courtesy of the Eastern Tech defense. Wild Lake Seth Smith going far side, but Anthony Lawston read it perfectly to seal the upset victory for the Mustangs. Our best buy, best cheer this week is presented by the Wildcats of Wild Lake. Take it away, ladies.
We are the Wildcats too. I live in ladder 3. I still can hear you more. What? We are the Wildcats too. I live in ladder 3. I still can hear you more. What?
When we come back, we'll meet this week's Papa John's featured student athlete. Welcome back. When Poly and City met in the 110th meeting of their football rivalry, no one on the field stood taller than Engineers wide receiver Eddie Henry. That's because Henry scored the game-winning touchdown on a 50-yard pass reception. A two-sport athlete at Poly, Henry is also a solid student. And he is this week's Papa John's featured student athlete.
So it's my last year, doing everything I can to keep my grades up, you know, doing everything I can to stay healthy for football and for baseball. You know, everything is great this year.
Things have been great for senior wide receiver and punter Eddie Henry this year. He's caught 10 touchdown passes for the 8-2 Engineers. It's a big difference, however, from a year ago when a broken arm derailed him midway through the season. Still, Eddie stayed positive.
I got through it by just, you know, praying God, hoping that everything will be okay. You know, doctors told me that I was able to, luckily the doctors told me I was able to play next season, you know, baseball and football. I mean, season-ending injuries, all I got to say to those people, you know, just keep your academics up, keep your hopes up, you know, shoot for your goals. That's the only thing you can do. Sports isn't everything. I mean, you get injured in college, you know, they'll take your scholarship away just like that, you know. Get on your academics, get your degrees. That way you can make something of yourself, and then, you know, you got something to fall back on.
At Poly, there's no bigger game than the traditional city game. Unfortunately, Eddie had to watch from the sidelines last year. But not the case this season. Eddie was the star, and his attitude played a major role.
It was a very big game for me. It was my first one playing in the new Ravens Stadium. It's very exciting. Plus, I knew I was going up against one of the top receivers in this area. You know, that's a big motivation for me also. And I always try to, you know, outdo the best person on that team, or try my best doing so. You always got to have a positive attitude. I mean, you got scouts out here, they looking at you can be the greatest player in the world. If you don't have a positive attitude, you know, they'll check you out their list like, he doesn't have a good attitude, we can't have him. You know, you got to have a good attitude in the school. You know, you can't come to school, you know, carrying all your personal problems to school. Just got to focus on your schoolwork. You know, attitude is a big thing.
Thanks, Elena. That's all we have time for today. Thanks for watching the Baltimore Sun High School Sports Show. We'll be back again next Sunday. Until then, keep up with the Sun's continuing coverage of the state playoffs as the fall sports season comes to a close. I'm Jerry Bembry, sports writer with the Sun. Until next Sunday, have a great school week ahead. The Toyota Prep Athlete Awards are courtesy of Larry Beck, the Trophy King.